used to struggle because I had a really poor relationship with money, and I was constantly fed things and I heard and listened to things that will not improve my relationship at all. Growing up, I always told that this is not something you can afford. Let's buy something cheaper instead. What's the cheaper alternative? I feel like constantly being fed all these things really rewires how your brain is formed, and so I had to change my wiring and consume information, things to help me improve in my financial journey. So these are the finance mindsets I had to adopt that shifted my perspective and actually allowed me to have a better relationship with money. So first thing I did was stop repeating to myself that I can't afford it, because I realized that whatever I keep saying will be forms a neural pathway in my brain, and over time it gets solidified because the neurons that wire together fire together. It is so solidified to the point that it becomes a belief itself, and I didn't want that to be a belief. I wanted to be able to afford things that are a bit more expensive or luxurious as well. So I actually got this from a book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. One of the quotes says that instead of saying I can't afford this, you can change it and say that, oh, my subconscious mind will see to it that I'm able to achieve this dream reality of mine, or I'm able to physically have this bag that I've been wanting for so long, something along the line of that. So just by changing the words I say here and there, it had a really big difference. Number two, after changing the words I say, I started to change the way I think. Instead of thinking in scarcity, I started thinking in abundance. The shift happens when I change the way I say things, or that I change the way I look at things. So I first stopped looking as money. Whenever I spend money, I stopped looking at it as like, oh, I'm losing something, I'm like decreasing the amount in my bank balance. Instead, I look at it that money is like a form of energy, and I'm trading it from something else that's valuable. If I'm going to buy a meal, I'm trading it for something that, for nutritious food that's going to keep me full, that's going to keep me satiated, and something that's going to keep me going for the day. So I'm not losing money, I'm actually exchanging it for another form of energy. Another way I looked at it in abundance is that I keep looking at people around me. Maybe they're drinking like expensive beverages, coffees, matcha, whatever it is. I just look around and observe, and I try to attune my mind to pick up the things that, oh, this person has bought so many online courses, which is something I want to do. This person has a lot of self-help books, which is something I'm interested to buy. So whatever is like around me, I just constantly pick it up, because when you frame your mind to pick up something, it tends to show you more of it. I'm trying to see that there is money everywhere, it is all over the place, there is in abundance, there is enough to go from everyone. And when I think about this, right, I have utter conviction, and I really believe that it is definitely possible for me to have enough money to do what I want, to buy what I need. And number three, I realized that I actually don't want so much of money. I don't need so much of money. I need enough money to be able to do what I want, to trade it for experiences that I'm interested in. So I really like buying fantasy books, buying fiction books. It brings me so much of happiness. Like, my idea of happiness is reading at home, and maybe, so that's my first idea of happiness. Second would be like going on adventure thrillers, like maybe going on a roller coaster. I love going on roller coasters. I love watching scary movies. It is not like splurging it at a club, or just going partying. Like, that is not my definition of fun. I think it's very normal for us to subscribe to other people's definition of fun, because it's normal. It's like the norm for teenagers or something like that. So I realized that by identifying, so I even made like a whole slide deck based on what I want, the places I want to go to, and I titled it Solo Travel because it's something I wanted to do alone. And these are things that interest me. So when I save up for it, when I set aside money for it, I know that I'm not wasting the money, because I'm trading it for an experience I want. So defining what my fun is, choosing intentionally how I want to spend my money, made it like I'm not losing anything. I'm trading it for another experience. And every time I spend, I do tell myself another thought, which actually leads back to the first point, changing my mindset, is that whatever I spend, I get back the experience, or I get back the value in tenfold. So the value can be interpreted differently. Maybe it's like get back money back to you. And when I know, maybe these affirmations might not make so much sense, but when I say it, I really had to cultivate a sense of feeling of happiness. I had to cultivate utter assurance, like I'm really assured, I really believe that I will somehow get this money back. It took me a lot of self-control, a lot of like over time training and practice to instill this belief. Like, I didn't know I can conjure feelings, right? But because the feelings and energy are just like really high, what happens is true. So I even went to a point where I didn't buy fruits for myself, or I bought like really cheap meals for like a few months of my life in school, just because I didn't want to spend a bit more to get nutritious. And that got me nowhere. I was constantly thinking in scarcity. I just bought foods that weren't very healthy, really oily chai fan, really oily nasi padang food, and it just wasn't healthy, and it's not serving my body anyway. And I'm not healthy, my thinking is in a scarcity mode, and I'm living on survival. I'm not able to break free of that loop. So I realized that when I shifted my spendings around, I actually started to pack food from home, and then I used the money to buy myself fruit from the wet market below. And actually, cut fruits is a bit more expensive than like coffee shops or kopitiam, but when I buy below, it's much, I can get a whole papaya for like $1, $2. Whereas if I buy cut fruit, less than a quarter of it would be $1. So just by changing the things I do, changing my mindset, I realized that a lot more resources, a lot more money was freed up for me, and I actually had a better relationship with it. A second example is I realized when I start to spend my money a bit more freely in the areas I want to, like for example, if I want to buy an online course or subscribe to some paid newsletter, I realized that when I spend my money a bit more freely in the areas that will improve me, somehow I start to earn more from other revenues, other areas of my businesses. And I can't really explain why that works, but it's just something I find that works for me. So these are the 3 mindsets. I hope I've helped you, and I think it's really important to improve your relationship with money because it can really affect you psychologically, and changing the way we think about money can really set up ourselves for the future. See you in my next video.